Hi, we're Muddy Fingers Pottery. I'm Marv, this is Diane. I started the business about 2003. I started teaching classes, self-taught, because nobody was teaching pottery in the area, so I had to teach myself. And then Diane came along on one of my night classes 3 or 4 years later. We went from there. So we do a lot of night classes. A lot of people come to us because they want that sense of achievement. They're also coming for a social kind of area as well, so they've got to meet other people of like-minded things going on. And we'll get people from all walks of life. We normally find people who have come from quite stressful environments, so doctors, teachers, nurses, any of that kind of thing, people come along.
I enjoy this because the work that I do is quite analytical. I work with numbers, it's quite complicated. So I like to come and do something like this because it takes my mind off everything else, it's quite relaxing. And I find it like a meditation, you know, especially when you're on the wheel working with the clay and you have to concentrate on how it feels. I find it very calming.
So I came to some of the one-off Muddy Fingers pottery classes, like making a bowl in a museum and things nearer to my house, and I really enjoyed it. And then I was like, oh, I'll try and come more often, and then it took me a couple of years to do that. But it's nice to have the routine, so it's really relaxing being here. And because you've kind of booked to do it every week, it gets you to come here even if you think you might be busy, and then you feel better for it. So.
I love doing these classes. I just started a few months ago. I'm not great at it, but it's it's good practice to get here every week. I like working with my hands. It's quite therapeutic, and it's an excuse to get out of the house and like make new friends and stuff. I've wanted to do something creative like this for a while, so it was ideal to find this studio.
So now we make a lot of tableware, and we do a lot of classes. What else do we do? But generally we like to make organic forms, and that all, I mean, it's a bit of a cliche, but everything's kind of inspired by nature. Right, so that's some of our pots as well, and then we've got like a tapas range in there as well. So that's generally the kind of stuff that we'll make day to day, and then the other stuff is like a one-off sort of thing that we do maybe once or twice a year, because we run a lot of classes, so we don't get a lot of time to make our own pots. So you have to be kind of relaxed and in a good mood to throw a pot. But once you start making, it's a bit like meditation. You kind of like, you forget about everything else, and you just concentrate on that one thing. So yeah, it relaxes you. And then it gives you a sense of achievement as well at the end when you've finished your pot and it comes out of the kiln all glazed and ready to use, and you can actually use and drink out of your mugs that you've made, and it's an achievement.
If you're cold, you light a fire. If you're hungry, you go and cook some food. The dogs are just playing all over the place. So things like that just really bring you back to nature. I mean, that's where clay comes from. You just dig it out of the ground, you get making. I've done a lot of woodwork before, and I've done a lot of metal work, and I've done plastic work, and this is the best material ever, because you're just using them. That's all the tools you need, and a fire, and that's it, you can make pots. It's kind of one thing that's missing from our society at the moment, that sense of actually making something or doing something, or at the end of your day actually having something to show for it. A lot of this digital age stuff is brilliant. It really helps us in our day-to-day, everyday work in the business, but for a lot of people that don't actually achieve anything at all, that don't kind of come up with a physical thing at the end of the day. And we find of our students, that's the main thing that they take away from this place, not just taking away pots, but that sense of achievement, that actually they can make something, they can do something. And I think that's one of the first things that kind of comes to you, and you're never happy with what you've brought out of the kiln, but it gets better and better and better every time. So I've got a really, really old pot that I first made, and that's like kind of okay, but it reminds me how far I've come in the kind of travel along the way as well. But feeling wise, it's just that achieving something and trying to achieve something new every time.